I'm Wade Barris from the Canadian alternative outlaw rock band Parliament of Owls, and this is my top five. So my top five today is top five albums that have influenced me in one way or another. These aren't necessarily my favorite albums of all time, even though a majority of them are on that list. But these are the ones that just kind of got the wheels in motion, so to speak. In no particular order. Number one, I would say Supertramp, Breakfast in America. There's something nostalgic about this album that kind of gets me going. Something about the saxophone and how the songs are pop songs, but I don't know if they really are totally pop songs. And like everything has like a weird sort of like reverb and chorus on everything that just sounds like it's like from a smoky different dimension. But I remember growing up and my mother had a little, it was a Triumph TR6 convertible, a little British sports car. And we'd put that in the tape player and we'd listen to that and drive around. And it was super awesome. Something about the songwriting of that I think just kind of works. Number two, Songs for the Deaf by Queens of Stone Age. Now, I could easily put Rated R on this one as well, but I think Songs for the Deaf is probably the one album that I played more than any other album that I've ever played. So much so that I don't even really know the names of the songs. I just know them as the different tracks because they would be in a CD player too much that I wouldn't actually look and see what the actual songs were. I would just know it was like, oh, song 5, song 6, blah, blah, blah. For those who haven't listened to that album, I think it's as close to perfection for like hard stoner rock as you could get. It's continuously flowing too, and that's what I really love. And if I get a chance to make a full-length album, that's definitely what it's going to be. Every kind of track is going to have something that binds the next track together, so you can put on the whole album in for 60 minutes or so. You don't have to skip anything because it kind of takes you on a bit of a journey. I think all the songs are so well written. The tones of everything is just so, especially at that time, it was so different. Because I think, I don't know if it was early 2000s. It might have been whenever it came out. And I think there was a lot of kind of like, if you want to call it new metal or like heavier music like that out. And this just was super heavy, super dark. And all the tones were just like kind of peppery instead of kind of the, you know, the sort of tones that a lot of like hard rock was getting at the time. I think kind of like how it's super heavy and dark, but like Josh Homme sings a lot of it when he does the singing, because there was a bunch of people singing on it. When he does do the singing, it's kind of goes against like the dark sounds with his like kind of more falsetto-y voice. I still listen to that album and I still don't get sick of it, and I play it all the way right through. Also, it has probably like one of the best starting songs and transitions into the first song in the album as any album that I've ever listened to. That one, like I said, I still listen to. Number three, The Sound of White Noise by Anthrax. I remember it would have been mid-90s. Whenever I was at that age, 14, 15, when you first really start discovering music and you realize that, oh, there's a whole new world out there of different music. And I know there's a lot of heavy music that was coming out at the time. And I had a good friend, Jason, that always kind of had his finger on the pulse of some good music. And I think I listened to, I don't know if it was before or after, but that Last Action Hero soundtrack was really, really good. And they had a song called, I think, Poison My Eyes by Anthrax. And as soon as I heard that, like the staccato of everything, like the guitars are more staccato, it turned me on to the album Sound of White Noise. Also, I think at the time, Guitar World magazine always featured, I think, the song Black Lodge in its tabs. So I remember like looking at that and saying like, what is that song? And I listened to the song and I said, well, I don't know if that's my favorite song. And then I listened to the album and I'm like, wow, this is completely awesome. Everything, it just hits you super hard. Their singer John Bush, because they've had two singers, he's definitely my favorite. I think he was in Armored Saint as well. But the way that he projects himself versus the staccato beats of Charlie's drumming and Scott Ian's guitar, I just think it's awesome. Once again, that's an album that I could put on day and night and listen to that. They had a couple other ones I really liked, but that one just hammered it home. Number four albums that influenced me was the Fragile double CD by Nine Inch Nails. Whenever I heard that album, it was just like, wow, like they're able to kind of intermingle so many kind of different things, but it still sounds exactly like them. They could have hard guitars, they could have piano ballad sort of things. A lot of it's creepy. The beats in it were just huge, and the songwriting is awesome. I don't know which one. It's a double CD. Which one is my favorite? But I put both of them on this list. A lot of stuff that I like to kind of flirt around with like synth and stuff. It comes directly from like listening to the Fragile CD. Nine Inch Nails, they're just awesome, and awesome live show. They're legends for sure. And number five, what was my number five? I forget what my number five is. Number five was, believe it or not, Aerosmith's Greatest Hits. It's the one with like it always reminds me of like the Detroit Red Wings logo, but it had like their logo in red and white. It was a Greatest Hits because I remember my father would had a Columbia House subscription, and he got that album for himself, and I remember listening to it, and even like the song like Back in the Saddle, just how that comes in is just so heavy. And obviously, like, I was a big fan growing up of Muscle Cars and the Dazed and Confused movie. So Sweet Emotions, I remember I had a 1971 Pontiac Le Mans Sport convertible and a tape deck, and I would just play that song over and over again and just dreamt that I was in the movie Dazed and Confused, because it just seemed like such a better time back then. But so many songs on that Greatest Hits. I could easily say like Aerosmith Rocks too, but I say the Greatest Hits because that's the one that it was just played over and over and over again. So many good songs. I don't think people give Aerosmith enough credit for like their older songs, like in that era. I know in the 90s they became very popular, and they try to kind of meld pop and rock and ballads and stuff like that, and it worked really well for them, I guess commercially. But like their older stuff is just like awesome songs. Like, you can't help but get pumped when you hear Back in the Saddle whenever that comes in like that. So that has been my top 5 most influential albums. Bye for now. Bye for now. Bye for now.